Hello everyone, how are you? I hope that you are all doing great. This is our lecture video 8. In this lecture, we're going just to revise all the skills that we have covered before in order to master them 100%. Okay, are you ready? Let's start. So, in this lecture, you are going to revise the phonics, grammar, and writing skills that have been covered till now. In the phonics, we covered short vowels, long vowels, and contractions. In the grammar, we covered sentences and the fragments, types of sentences, subjects and the predicates. And in the writing, we covered parts of the paragraph and the process writing. Are you ready to start? Why not? Let's start revising the grammar. Complete sentence. Let's start with the complete sentence. What is the complete sentence? A sentence needs to have a main clause to develop the idea in a sentence. So the sentence needs to have a main clause to develop the idea in a sentence. In other words, we can say that the sentence is a group of words that has all the main components with the complete idea to make a complete sentence. A sentence needs three components to have a main clause. So it must have three components to have a main clause: noun, verb, and complete thought. Or in other words, naming part, telling part, and complete idea. Example: the man runs. The man runs. Here we have noun and verb. The man and noun runs the verb. Together the noun and verb, they make a complete thought. So I have noun, I have verb, and I have a complete thought. So I can say that I have a complete sentence. What about the fragments? What is the difference between the sentence and the fragment? Let's see. Fragments. A fragment is missing one of the key components of a main clause. So when there is a group of words missing one of the three main components, then we do not call it a complete sentence. What do we call it? We call it a fragment. For example, and sneezed loud enough for the neighbors to hear. Okay, but who sneezed? Who? I don't know. So it is missing the noun. It's missing one of the main components. I cannot consider it complete sentence. It is a fragment. Second example. The man fishing on a deep, cold blue lake. What? What about the man? What about the fisherman? What is he doing? So there is no verb. So it's missing telling part. It's missing one of the main components. I cannot consider it complete sentence. It is a fragment. Last one. After Joey went to school. Joey went to school, but then what happened? There is no complete idea. Okay, there is no completion for the sentence, for the words, for the clause. So I cannot consider it a complete sentence. I consider it a fragment because it's missing one of the main components. So this is the difference between the complete sentence and the fragment. Now we move to the types of sentences. Types of sentences are four, as we said before, and each type has its own characteristics. First type is the declarative sentence or statement. We call it statement, okay? Or in other words, we can say declarative. A declarative sentence makes a statement. A statement, so from its name, statement, states. It tells something, okay? It tells something. It is punctuated by a period. It's punctuated by a period. So a statement states something, tells something, or declares something, so, and it's punctuated by a period. Example: the dog in the neighbor's yard is barking. The dog in the neighbor's yard is barking. Here I'm telling you something, and I must have a period at the end. Then it is a declarative sentence or a statement. Statement. Second type is the interrogative or the question. Interrogative or the question. From its name, we know that it is asking a question. An interrogative sentence asks a question. It asks a question. And how is it punctuated at the end? It is punctuated with a question mark. It ends in a question mark. Example: is it raining? So here I'm asking a question, so it must end with a question mark. Third type of sentences, the third type is imperative or command. Command. The command is an order. An imperative sentence is a command or polite request. Is an order or a polite request. Okay, order when you are telling someone to do something, or a polite request. You want a favor from someone, so you express a polite request. It ends in a period or sometimes in an exclamation mark. Sometimes, not all the times, okay? But mostly it ends with a period. Examples: close the door. This is an order, command. Close the door. Polite request: please be quiet. Please be quiet. Polite request. And if you notice that the imperative sentence or the command starts with the verb directly with no subject, okay? And here we consider it a complete sentence because the verb is in its infinitive form. We can move to the exclamatory or exclamation, the last type. When we say exclamatory or exclamation, I directly start thinking about my feelings. An exclamatory sentence expresses a great emotion or excitement. Great emotion or excitement, okay? It ends in an exclamation mark. It ends in an exclamation mark, okay? So here in the exclamatory, I expresses my feelings. Either it's a sad feeling or a happy feeling, or I'm angry, or if I'm angry sometimes, or surprised, for example, okay? The house is on fire, okay? Here I'm expressing my feelings, okay? I'm afraid because the house is on fire, and I have to end my sentence with an exclamation mark. Now it's time to start with the subjects and the predicates. Let's revise the subjects and predicates. Okay, let's start with the simple and complete subjects. Simple and complete subjects. What do I mean by simple and complete subjects? I'm sure that you know them, but this is a revision for you. The subject, first of all, the subject is what or whom the sentence is about. So directly when I want to figure out the subject, I have to ask myself, what is the sentence talking about, or whom is the sentence talking about? Sometimes we call the subject the naming part. We call it the naming part. Example: the kids spilled popcorn on the floor. The kids spilled popcorn on the floor. Who is the sentence talking about, or what is the sentence talking about? It is talking about the kids. The complete subject here is the kids, the complete subject, because when I answered my question, I said the kids. So I took all the words in the subject, the kids. So the kids, all of the words, they make the complete subject, okay? So what is the simple subject? The main word in the subject is the noun kids. The main word in the subject is the noun kids, and if you remove kids from all of the words, it will affect the meaning. So here I know that kids is very important to stay in the subject, so that's why I call it the simple subject. So the simple subject is the main noun or pronoun in the complete subject. So the simple subject is a part of the complete subject, so it's the main noun or pronoun, and if I remove it, it will affect the meaning of the sentence. So this is the difference between simple and complete subject. But we have to continue with the compound subjects. What do we mean by compound subjects? A compound subject is a simple subject made up of more than one noun or pronoun. So when I have in the subject more than one noun or pronoun, or I'm talking about more than one noun or pronoun, or more than one thing. The principal and the teacher visited us. The principal and the teacher visited us. Who is the sentence talking about? It's talking about the principal and the teacher. It's talking about both of them. Okay? The sentence talks about two nouns in the subject. It talks about two nouns, principal and teacher. Since it's talking about two nouns, so the simple subjects are usually joined by coordinating conjunctions. If you notice here that the simple subjects, principal and teacher, are joined with a conjunction and, okay, so they make a compound subjects. They make a compound subject. What are the conjunctions that could be used? Coordinating conjunctions and or correlative conjunctions either or neither nor. So the compound subject is the subject that is made up of more than one simple subject joined with a coordinating conjunction or a correlative conjunction. Now, simple and complete predicates. We move to the predicates. Simple and complete predicates. First of all, what is the predicate? The predicate explains what the subject is or has done. So the predicate, either it's giving me information about the subject or it's telling me what the subject has done. Sometimes we call the predicate the telling part. The telling part. Example, they arrived late to the party. They arrived late to the party. Okay? So here, what's the sentence telling me about the subject? Arrived late to the party. So the complete predicate is arrived late to the party. And the complete predicate starts from the verb till the end of the sentence. So it starts from arrived to and it ends at the party. The complete predicate arrived late to the party. And the simple predicate is the verb in the sentence. It's the verb in the sentence, which means it's the first word in the complete predicate. The verb in the sentence is arrived. It is the first word in the complete predicate. So we call it the simple predicate. The simple predicate is the main verb in the complete predicate. So it's similar to the subject. As the simple subject is a part of the complete subject, the simple predicate is a part of the complete predicate. Now we move to the compound predicates. Compound predicates. What do we mean by compound predicate? The compound predicate is two or more simple predicates with the same subject. Two or more simple predicates with the same subject. Okay? Two or more simple predicates. And how they are joined also by what? Now you'll see. Let's take the example. Christina baked the cake and decorated the house. What's the sentence telling me about Christina? Baked the cake and decorated the house. So she did two actions. I have two verbs, two simple predicates, baked and decorated. So the sentence includes two verbs or two actions in the predicate. We have to join them together with a conjunction so they make a compound subject. Okay, so when we joined together or we connected that both verbs together with a conjunction, they made a compound predicate. So the simple predicates are usually joined by the coordinating conjunctions and or the correlative conjunctions either or neither nor to make a compound predicate. Okay, guys. Now we have finished from the grammar. It's time to start revising the phonics. It's phonics turn now. First of all, let's start with the short vowel sounds. When do we say that we have a short vowel sound? If a word contains only one vowel and that vowel appears in the middle of the word, the vowel is usually pronounced as a short vowel. This is especially true if the word is very short. So especially when I have a short word with one vowel in the middle of the word and it's alone, so it takes the short sound. Examples of short vowels in one syllable words. One syllables we mean it's one part. We include the following: bat, wet, fox, sit, slept, fled. Okay, let's continue with short vowel sounds. When a word ends with a double consonant, S or double L or double F, the preceding vowel takes the short sound. Example, bill, miss, sell, for example. If there are two vowels in a word, but the first vowel is followed by a double consonant, the vowel sound is short, such as cannon, wobble. Okay? So you see in canon, both vowels are separated with a double consonant. So they take the short sounds, canon, wobble. If there are two vowels in a word and the vowels are separated by two or more letters, it's not necessary to be double. Here they are separated with two or more letters. The first vowel is usually short. For example, lantern, bucket. Now we move to the long vowel sounds, the long sounds. When do we have a long sound? A long vowel is a vowel sound that is pronounced the same way as the name of the letter itself. Example, the long U sound is pronounced like U, as would be the case in words like lure and tube. Okay, so the letters in the long sound take their names: A, O, or U, U, E, I. So these letters take the long sounds. First rule for the long vowel sounds: oftentimes a word with a short vowel is transformed into a long vowel by placing a silent letter E at the end of the word. When the word is one syllable, one part, when you add a silent letter E at the end of the word, the vowel before it will take the long sound, as in mat, mate. When we add the silent E at the end, it becomes mate. It takes the long sound A. Vowel teams are when two vowels stick together to make one long vowel sound. Vowel teams are when two vowels stick together to make one long vowel sound. The long vowel sound usually relates to the first vowel in the sequence. Example, wait. In wait, I have the vowel team AI, but here the I is silent and the A takes the long sound. Meet. The only double vowels used in words are EE and OO. These doubles have the long E sounds, and these are the only doubles used in words. Of these, only E is spoken as long vowel in words like sheep, wheel, beat, and bee. By contrast, OO is pronounced in many different ways, okay, such as hoop, look, brood, and boo. When we find AY, EY, or OY at the end of the word, the vowel team gives a long sound. Example, play, key, destroy. Okay? We still have rules with the long vowel sounds. When the letter Y is located in the middle or end of the at the end of the word, it is often treated as a vowel with long E sound, as in many, early, ugly, daisy, dizzy. You see, the Y at the end of the word takes the long E sound. Vowels can sometimes be long if followed by double consonants, double consonants or blends. Okay, so if the vowel letter is followed by a consonant letter or blend, sometimes it takes the long sound, as in bang, stroll. Okay, now I have to move to the contractions. The contractions, it's the last part in the phonics. As we said, or we agreed on, that contractions is when I have something long, I have to make it shorter. Okay, as in are not, with the negative I have to deal with the negative not, so it becomes aren't. Does not, doesn't. And sometimes I have to work with the have or had, so could have, could have. Okay, we are, here I have to deal with the are, we are, we're. She had, she'd. Sometimes I have to deal with the is, what is, what's. She is, she's. Okay, so I have plenty of contractions. Through practice you can master them. Awesome words, aren't they? Yes, I know that phonics is awesome, and it always gives us awesome words. Now let's move to a new thing. Comprehension skills. There's something we have to revise about the comprehension skills. Okay, what should we cover? Let's see. Okay, let's start revising the point of view. Point of view. The point of view in a work of literature is determined by the narrator, that is the person telling the story. So when we ask about the point of view, we have to start thinking about the narrator. This narrator may be the author or a character in the story, book, play, or poem. He might be the writer only, or he could be the character also in the story. Okay, so we have two types. I gave you two types of point of view. First person point of view. If the narrator is a character in the story, this is first person point of view. One way to recognize this is the use of the pronoun I by the narrator. I, my, mine, we, us, ours. Okay, all of these pronouns show me that it's a first person point of view. Third person point of view, if the author or narrator is telling the story, this is known as third person point of view. So if the author or narrator is just telling the story, he is not a character in the story, then it is a third person. Or in other ways, we can say that if the narrator is telling a story that happened with him, then it's first person. But if the narrator is telling a story that happened with someone else, it is third person point of view. And in the third person point of view, what are some of the pronouns that will show third person point of view? The use of the pronouns he, she, him, her, they, them, okay, theirs, hers, his. All of these pronouns show that it is third person point of view. Now we move to the elements of the story. Elements of the story, which is very important. What we have covered in the elements of the story: the setting. Setting is the where and when of the story. It is the time and the place during which the story takes place. Characters: the person, animals, and things participating in a story. Conflict. Conflict is the dramatic struggle or problem between two forces in a story or two characters. Without conflict, there is no plot. But what is the plot? The plot is the organized pattern or sequence of events that make up a story. Plot is the elements that describe the structure of a story. It shows arrangement of events and actions within a story. Theme. What is the theme? The theme is the central, general message or the main idea about life or people the author wants to get across through a story. Simply ask yourself, what do you learn from the story? What do I learn from the story? Or what is the lesson that the writer wants me to learn at the end of the story? I will get the theme. To discover the theme of a story, think big. What big message is the author trying to say about the world in which we live? Oh, now it's the time for the last part in the lecture, which is the writing. We have to revise the writing. Let's start with the parts of the paragraph. The first part of the paragraph is the topic sentence, the top bun in the hamburger sandwich. The topic sentence introduces the reader to the topic of your paragraph. Try to make it exciting. So the topic sentence is important. It's the first sentence in the paragraph, and it tells the reader about the main idea of the paragraph. So what should I add after the topic sentence? The topic sentence alone is not enough to make a paragraph. I must add details. Details. Add the delicious details. A good paragraph includes details that describe or tell about the main points or reasons. They tell about the main points or reasons. And these main points and reasons should stick to the topic that has been mentioned in the topic sentence. They should stick to the main idea. Be sure to add at least 3 reasons, examples, or main points that support the introductory or topic sentence. And as we did before, we compared the details, the delicious details, to the delicious ingredients in the hamburger sandwich, which are the cheese, lettuce, tomato, and meat. And now the last part in the paragraph, which is the concluding sentence, the bottom bun in the hamburger sandwich. And it's very important because it keeps all the ingredients together as the concluding sentence that keeps all of the ideas or the details together. The concluding sentence is a paragraph helps hold all of the sentences together. It works with the topic sentence to keep the details from falling apart. The concluding sentence should be interesting and let your reader know that you are finished writing. It wraps everything up. So whenever I have to write a paragraph, I should start with the topic sentence to tell my reader about the topic. I have to support my topic sentence, the main idea, with details, and then I have to close my paragraph with a concluding sentence. Now let's revise the process paragraph or the process writing. How do we produce a process paragraph? First of all, what is a process paragraph? A process paragraph describes the steps necessary to perform a process or task. So I have a certain process or a task or a job I have to do. I have to follow steps to do it. So I have to write a process paragraph. So also, for sure here the paragraph includes topic sentence, details, and concluding sentence. But in the process paragraph, the topic sentence introduces the process that the writer will explain. So in the topic sentence in the process paragraph, the topic sentence introduces the process that the writer will explain. So what should I mention in the details? The middle sentences or the details describe a sequence of steps. They should describe the steps that give detailed information about the stages of the process. They give background details that help the writer explain why this process is useful or necessary and include the tools needed for the task. And last, we have to close the paragraph with a concluding sentence. The paragraph ends with a concluding sentence that restates the topic sentence using different words. It includes a suggestion or writing to help the reader do the task more easily. To help you have a well-organized process paragraph, it's necessary to use time order words, and the time order words especially used here in the process paragraph are first, second, next, then, later, after that, finally, then, before. Okay, you can use more words, even, finally, last but not least. Okay, and if you notice that all the time order words are followed with a comma except then is not followed by a comma. Okay, okay guys, now that we have reached the end of our lecture, thanks for listening and happy Halloween. Bye bye.